emotional standpoint to why it's a cruel thing to put somebody to have to go through the circumstances of just being a sentient creature here. Within the context of human beings, our emotional desires, our emotional longing that we look to kind of ingrain and engineer for people to seek fulfillment for, it's really messed up. First off, with just on a genetic standpoint, we don't really have any control over how we're going to appear, how we're going to have certain tendencies, just how we're perceived naturally by other people. There's a lot that we don't have any say in, just in regards to the makeup of who we are on a biological standpoint. So you're already starting from a place where you don't really have any say, and now you're just kind of dealing with what you've been dealt. And so it's not a fair starting point. And I mean, again, a lot of times when it comes to things like relationships, dating, marriage, these are things that we put expectations on for people. We grow up wanting to have some type of significant other. It's something that is still, obviously, it's a natural element to existence, but it gets hypersensitized. It gets extrapolated further. I believe it gets intensified. That emotional hunger, that lust, it definitely gets cultivated, programmed into us, I believe, deliberately, more so than just naturally, because there's a sort of competition, there's a sort of, hunger, desire game that comes with that. And it's really cruel when you see how it gets played out. I feel like it's interesting how in the modern era, it seems like everybody today has a pretty across the board unanimous consensus towards saying, oh, the dating world, the dating game is trash, it's lame. Today's dating world, it sucks, right? I find that silly. That we're looking to put people here to be in some type of system that is like that. And we make up that system. So what are we really talking about when we say, oh, yeah, the dating scene is trash? We make up these elements. Society is this or that. We were of that. So to stigmatize it and then still promote it, it's just that insanity that comes with promoting this world. It makes no sense. A lot of times when people think they found love, great for them, but then they have some type of situation that becomes a detriment, and then those situations, shatters. It goes down in shambles. When you just look at things like divorce rates, you just look at the ways people can resent each other. So there's nothing that's necessarily guaranteed. It's not cool. I mean, people. I don't know. They dedicate their lives to find somebody in that realm, but it's just that game of always having to seek and find something out. It's a vampiric system, really. It is, because you're not really whole, and it's understandable. A lot of times, we do need that social well-being, emotional support. I get why we do what we do, but again, it gets programmed to us to seek it more so than I believe we naturally would, first off. And second off, even if you do obtain it, it's not a guarantee. And a lot of times when it's not a guaranteed, it's just not a good experience to have to deal with any breakup or anything. It's one of the reasons why I just don't prioritize it, because first off, obviously, from being in the position that I am personally, I just don't really relate to most people. So it's just not a calculated, worthwhile risk to put myself personally. But again, you're gonna have problems with any relationship. You're gonna get annoyed, just these human stuff. So it's just, why put yourself in the position to have to go through any of those worries and troubles and burdens? It's just an additional layer of just unnecessary harm that gets really put on people to have to deal with. So, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It just goes back a lot of times to deficiencies. A lot of times today, you look at how people look to have a particular significant other. There's a sort of roster chart, a profile that people would look to have preference for. And a lot of times it's just to seek out insecurities and deficiencies that they have for their own selves. All rationally understood. It's just unfortunate that that's the case that's going on. It's just unfortunate. It's nothing to celebrate at all. I look at just how we go about things when it comes to that realm, love and relationships, dating, marriage. It's sick. It's nasty sometimes. What goes on, how people can cheat on each other, how people can manipulate each other. It's just sick how we put people to have to go through those hoops. To go further into my thoughts on relationships and just dating, if you would go in towards a marriage route, in alignment with antinatalism, humans, we're really interesting creatures. It's interesting how we have shows dedicated towards stuff like relationships, reality, TV shows. We have a sort of knack for entertainment to witness the drama, the hate, the turmoil that gets composed in just love conflicts, love dilemmas and situations that people are in. It's just kind of, in a way, sick. I'm in this, so I'm not no better than anybody. How we like to watch this stuff, it's interesting. Any show that you watch has some type of love thing going on for the most part. So everybody is combined to this to some extent. But it's weird how we watch people go through pain. We watch people argue. We watch people go through things they really rather not have to go through. It's because in a way I think we can relate to it, but we find entertainment in it. It's just kind of weird how we like seeing people be put in unfortunate situations, and we're watching it. It's weird. But we also do this in the internet. It's not just the TV realm anymore. Now it's composed on the web. Again, being black, there's somebody very prominent, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. But people like that where they promote talking about different relationship type topics and how to be better in those different types of areas and different conflicts that are currently going on. These are things that are highly popularized. A lot of times, people, we gravitate towards listening to this and hearing how people are doing, and it's just kind of weird how we like to see each other go through pain. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't want to put that on my son or daughter, to have to worry about, am I gonna have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? How am I going to obtain it? What am I going to do? Am I a right enough person for this somebody? Even wanting to long for somebody like that. It is definitely, it's just a waste. I don't know why somebody, it's a hunger. Why would you put somebody in that mode of being in a hunger state? It's not a good thing. A lot of times that hunger isn't fulfilled. I have a lot of, I don't even know what to say. I just feel bad for people where they don't get what they want. A lot of people, they may want this or want that in the context of a relationship or to be in a position to be with somebody, but that's just not a reality for them, right? Oh, they're out of your league, or you just don't have the courage to go up to them or something. It's just, why even play this game? Even the idea of your head being entertained, and you're just going through this worry, and it's just unnecessary burdens that don't need to have to be placed. For a girl, a woman in particular, it's just unfortunate what they have to go through. I mean, understandably so. The stuff like the patriarchy, people can say it's here or not, but you should understand the system that they're looking to describe. So it's already unfortunate that they have that overarching issue going over their head. Then you talk about, just how they always have to feel protected. I mean, it's just like, wow, it's rightfully so why they say things around how men are trash and whatever reasons they say. You should be able to have empathy for them. The whole point is you shouldn't put that on somebody to be in their situation in the first place. And on the other side with men, with the guys, a lot of times you just see a bunch of simps. You have to cater and court and, validate yourself in a certain perspective to get that opportunity to seek whatever emotional, sexual fulfillment that you were originally longing for. So it's just this simp culture where, guys, they have to put themselves at a certain area in life. And, it's why civilization is where it is, but it's just that toil. And a lot of times it's not a guarantee. It's just, it's not cool. And for what it promotes, again, this all goes back to procreation. Indirectly, this will lead to more people having to come here. I just don't see it as cool as how this is something where, again, a lot of times people settle when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage. They compromise with certain things, and it just doesn't make sense to put somebody in that subordinate position. It's very unfair at the very least. But I just think it's interesting how we find entertainment in it as well. And again, a lot of times you see men and women complain about men and women. So it's just, why are we complaining about each other? We're saying this sucks. People, again, they say dating, this game, it sucks. Oh, everything about it is lame. Well, why are we putting people to have to do this in the first place? It is just backwards when you see what people do, what people say, and then it doesn't align with each other. So it's just weird how we find infatuation to the drama, to the hate, to the love that's composed of all this. Again, people they're just hurt. I see both sides. I understand both sides. It's just, if you have all these gripes, you have all these issues, you're watching people go through these issues, why would you put that on somebody to have to deal with to begin with? It's the weirdest thing. You shouldn't want to have to feel like you need somebody like that. It goes back to this deficiency. Why are you putting people to be in this deficient mode? This is a very vital component, that emotional, hunger, sexual hunger. That's just crazy. It's crazy because it leads to a lot of unfortunate harms, really. You talk about rape, you talk about sexual abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. It's founded upon that lack of a hole being filled. In terms of that, again, emotional, sexual hunger. It's just, it's really bad because that's one of the baselines to sentience. And so if that's not something that's being fulfilled, there's a lot of negative consequences that could come about. I understand why people do what they do, but they should be able to look on the outside in and say, yeah, that's not really cool. It is a vampiric system, how we put this upon each other. It's the concept is, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up, how we, look to get things off of each other. It's nothing I would want to put on somebody. Truthfully not, because clearly men and women, we both have problems ourselves. We love to complain about problems to the other people. And so it's just like, why are we having to put all this worry and trouble? Why are we putting that on somebody else? It's very cruel.